cards came out, and we're gonna review them as a part 2 of the Grand Tournament preview, or at least my first impressions of it, okay? So let's start with this Druid card with Savage Combatant. It gives Inspire, give your hero +2 attack this turn. So effectively, your hero power becomes deal 3 damage, and it's a 4 mana 5/4. My first impression when I first saw this card was like, oh, it's pretty damn good, because like if its hero power can deal 3 damage, you can pretty much have a free Wrath every single turn, and just prioritize using a hero power a little bit more, right? So this is kind of interesting. The only problem with this card is that when you play this on 4, you can't play a 5-drop afterwards, and druids really rely on like having like sticky minions on the board, right? Like just play on curve and all the time. And of course, the counter to this would be like your opponent playing not a 3 health creature, which I believe is sometimes hard to do. So, for example, if you are facing against, I don't know, like a paladin, they have a lot of 3 health creatures, and this could be really awkward for them. This card is really bad against stuff like hunters and like face paladin, because like extra 2 attack doesn't actually do anything. And this is also really bad against, you know, classes that don't have a lot of high health creatures. So we're talking about like handlocks, you know, stuff like that. But like this is okay against like patron warrior, I would assume. I mean, 3 attack is pretty decent, and the 5/4 minion is also pretty decent. That's the Despite though, so I'm not sure. The first impression is really really good, but when you start to like kind of piece this a bit more, it's actually not that good. In arena is amazing. Always pick this in arena. I will always pick this in arena, but in constructed, it might be better than advertised. It might be worse than advertised. I mean, because you can't really use this effectively. I don't think this is gonna be too crazy. So yeah, this is the this card is. There's a lot of people asking me about this card. When it was when it first came out, because I'm like it's a priest card, obviously. The result is that having this on a bigger body, having the Light Warden effect on a bigger body, doesn't necessarily mean it's better, right? You still need to use the Pyromancer circle combo, which means you still have to have it when it doesn't get removed that easily. But then you're trading this 4-drop for like an Alkanite Soul Priest, right? I mean, I guess you can also put in Alkanite and Holy Champion. But then, at the same time, you have to ask yourself why you're not playing Shredder as well. Priest is not playing Shredder right now because there's better cards. But at the same time, if this card is not better than the Shredder, then why is this card going to be in a Priest deck at the first time anyways? And Arena is really amazing because you can trade something, heal it back up, it's a 5/5. And trade something, heal it back up as a 7/3 or something like that. This is really amazing in Arena, I think. But in Constructed, you really need to like kind of cheese a little bit. Maybe if they release a bit more healing cards, that would be really good. But like, I'm not entirely too sure about this card. I mean, it's a good card, right? If it's like in the classic set, but yeah, it remains to be seen. Not really a high rating here. Oh my god, this card everybody thinks is like, oh my god, this is crazy. I love the what is that called? The flavor on this, since it's like summon anything, right? And there's Jirax's floor in the background. But realistically speaking, still kind of difficult, because if you play a 6-mana creature, you really need something to happen, right? And this doesn't. Nothing happens when you play the 6-mana creature. So effectively, you have to play this at turn 8, where you're basically worded as 8 mana 4/4, and then use the top card on your deck immediately. Or if it's a spell, you can like pretty much as a bad innervate. Yeah, it seems like it's really hard to use in practice, because if you play this as Halak, for example, and you Wilfred into Ancient Watcher, or you Wilfred into Coil, and like there's enough bad cards that exist in Handlock that this might be a bit weird. But I guess it's fair, because Warlocks have 2 useful legendaries now, right? Jiraxis and Mal'Ganis are both really really strong, so it makes sense to make like a lower one. But yeah, in practice this seems really really weird. But people are gonna try stuff out. We're gonna see some Trojan videos, and Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay. King's Defender is if you have a minion of taunt, gain +1 durability. I thought that this actually gave +1 durability for each minion of taunt. So I guess they nerfed this already, huh? Interesting. There was like a Reddit post about it or something like that. I don't know, but 3 mana 3/3. Really? Do you really want to play a 3 mana 3/3? I mean, you already have Fire War Axe, and that comes a turn before. And this requires you to have a minion of taunt. Like, what are you playing with taunt in the warrior deck? What? Am I missing something? You do not... I mean, Unstable Ghoul for patrons and Sludge Belchers for control. I really don't think this card is ever gonna see play. At least not with this kind of at least not kind of this meta right now. The only way I can see this being played is if Pirate Warrior becomes a thing, because there's like the Captain Skycrag, right? So if you play like Dread Corsair, after you do like Deathbite or something, and then you equip King's Defender, you get extra durability, which is like, why would you really want to do that in the first place? I don't really gonna see play. Not even in the Pirate deck. In Arena, it's fine. Whatever. 3 mana 3/2, Eagle Horn Bow, whatever. We'll take it. Colossal Manager. And why it like first of all, when I first saw this guy, I was like, why the heck would you ever want to sap your own creature? Well, first of all, it's a 3 mana 2/5, so at least it's a bit like the stat line is fine. I mean, it's pretty good against aggro, but at the same time, like, how can you imagine this card being in any deck, right? You have to choose a class card over this in constructed. So for example, you run Aldor, you run this over Aldor, you have to run this over Dark Cultist. It's really awkward. People think that, oh, it's card advantage, right? You use your hero power, you can play this back again. Yeah, sure. If you want to play a 5 mana 2/5, because effectively, if you look at this card, right? 3 mana 2/5, if you want to replay it, you use your hero power and play another 3 mana. That's 5 mana 2/5, and it also kills this guy, right? Because when you're sapping your own creature, effectively you're killing it. So would you want to play a 5 mana 2/5 Battlecry, deal 3 damage to your 2/3? I would never want to do that. This card is really terrible. I wouldn't see this is terrible. This card on the other hand, this card I actually like a lot. A lot of people do not like it, and I will explain why I like it and why people do not like it as well. Justicar Trueheart. I guess I should also put out the graphic of all the hero powers that are changed. So there we go. So I will explain why this card I think is going to be really powerful. But first of all, people think that this card is really bad because you play a 6 mana creature, you expect a bigger body, right? You expect because it does something when you play it, which is like, that's a good fulfillment, right? When you play a 6 mana creature, you want something to happen. Emperor happens, something happens. Sylvanas, your opponent has to play really weirdly. Black Knight, another thing would be like Sky Golem, because it like comes back to life, etc, etc. So it fulfills that requirement. But a lot of people do not like the 3 health. It dies to like Wrath, it dies to like, I don't know, what else does 3 damage? Wrath is like the first thing that comes out of mind. It dies to Sword, True Silver Champion, Dark Bomb, etc, etc. It just dies, right? Now, my rebuttal is, first of all, this is a permanent effect. Very strong. Permanent effects are really, really powerful in any game, right? You can see that Jiraxis, for example. Jiraxis is pretty much the only comparable card right now that's a permanent effect. And Jiraxis is really, really good because you keep on spawning 6/6s. If you can spam your hero power every single turn, and also coupled with cards that are like, Maiden of the Lake, that makes you like spam more. You can also do like another card that is coming up. Wait, yeah, the card that we reviewed before, the one that you can use your hero power twice or something like that. Like, it makes this card insane. So I look at this card as a 6 mana, get a new hero power. Oh, by the way, you get a 6/3, right? So that's basically my assessment of this card. And also, sometimes you can also get away with the 3 health. If they actually do not have removal for the 3 health, it actually trades upwards. So it actually trades for their Lotheb or something, right? Yeah, they play Lotheb, you play this card, and they do not have, you know, a trade. So they actually have to hit your face with the Lotheb and play something else, and then just click and trade. So like, I actually think this is really strong. Obviously, it's not strong in a couple of classes. So for example, Rogue, like, why do you want a 2/2 weapon? You're just giving your weapon +1 every single time you use a hero power. And you do not use your hero power a lot, so that's bad. Hunter's probably bad. You only gain +1. It's not even doubled. No smoking allowed. Warlock is also really bad. And Druid, in a sense, is also really bad. Because, like, why the heck would you want one extra attack? You usually just want to ping stuff off with one attack, right? It's really good in Warrior, I think. You gain a lot of art. That's insane. In Priest, it might make some Valen Arcanine combo be really good. Because Valen Arcanine would mean that heal does 8 damage instead. The Paladin was also really strong. 2/1/1s is definitely better than some of the 2/2. 2/1s is very annoying. And remains to be seen how the Mage and the Shaman will perform. Because like the Shaman, it was actually confirmed that you can actually summon 2 of the same totems. So for example, you can just go like, okay, I want a taunt totem. Okay, I want a taunt totem. Okay, I want a taunt totem. And just seal out, you know, I don't know, some aggro matchups. I still don't believe that this is going to be used in Shaman though, because you can just summon whatever you want if your RNG is by your side. And Mage doesn't seem like it's that strong either. So I think it's going to be really strong in Warrior, Paladin, and Priest. Okay. Onwards to the next card. We have Flame Juggler. Deal 1 damage to an enemy, which is kind of disgusting in the sense that I wish it only dealt damage to minions. If this battle cry only deal 1 damage to a random enemy minion, this would actually might even see play against aggro, right? You know, ping off their Leopard Gnome at turn 2. That's amazing. Ping off their Abusive Sergeant or Web Spinner or stuff like that. That would be amazing. But the fact that this could actually miss makes this really bad, right? I mean, damn. The fact that this can miss is so bad. It does have the better stat line compared to Knife Juggler, and it has more health. But the fact that it can actually smoke is really, really terrible. I would be very careful of this card. In Arena, sure. I mean, it's good enough. It's a 2-drop that has a extra plus side, right? You're comparing this to like, I don't know, Crocolisk or like, you know, random 2-drops that actually don't do anything to turn to play. I guess this is really good in Arena, but in Constructed, no, I don't think so. Oh, this is a huge one. Yeah, Clockwork Knight is huge for like a tiny dude. Interesting. 5 mana, 5/5, loads up power, and then it's a +1/+1, so it's a 6/6 if you actually manage to pull it off. So, not really sure about this card. First impression is like, oh, would this bring back, say, Mech Mage, for example? 5 mana, 5/5, and you buff your Shredder, or you buff your Yeti, or you buff your Spire Tank, +1/+1. I guess it could be pretty good. I mean, you can imagine your, for example, if you play a Shredder and your opponent plays, so it's turn 4, right? What do opponents play usually turn 4? They usually play a Shredder back against you, so that's like that doesn't really help. What's a good scenario that you can actually use this +1/+1? I really can't think of one right now. Right? Like, why would you want the extra 5? The extra 5. I guess Shredder can trade into Lotheb now. So in a sense, this is a 5 mana 5/5 battle cry, deal 1 damage. In a sense, you could also just go face, I guess. Just like, you know, 5 mana 5/5, buff your Shredder, go face, hit for 1 more, and then the Shredder trades with the opponent's Shredder. Basically, we're just evaluating if this card is better than Lotheb or not, right? Because Mech Mage already has such a high density of cards that are important, in that if you play this, it would be cutting something like, you know, Sky Golem or like, you know, Lotheb or stuff like that. And I feel like this is balanced in the sense it's not too OP. So it remains to be seen if you actually cut Lothar with this card. I mean, okay, it's a freaking gnome riding a mechanical horse, okay? Just play this card. In Arena, it's really good because it's a Lothar with an upside. So I would definitely draft this in Arena. Very, very strong. And then Constructed, it depends on if it can take the other place of other 5-drops. Tournament Medic, 4 mana 1/8. Your hero power becomes a basically a priest hero power itself. The stats are quite interesting if a 4 mana 1/8. 8 health means it's a bit stronger than Mogashan. But once again, playing a 1 attack creature at 4 mana is really, really bad. Because like you can't even kill 2/2s, right? So if you're oh my god, there's a lot of aggro decks. I'm gonna put this guy in and they place Knife Juggler and they're pretty sad. So like not really too attached to this card, I guess. Like you could say that, oh, there's a really good combo with like this guy and that guy. It's like, nah, not really. No. You just it's a bit too, it's bit too optimistic, I guess. Yeah, it's a little bit too optimistic. Just 1 attack is just so terrible. And also, like, restore 2 health to your hero, right? It's not restore 2 health to a random character. If it's restore 2 health to a random character, that would be pretty busted. I would actually play this card if it's 2 health to a random character. Because, like, that's like a double heal, right? And also, I kind of affect this board. But only on your hero seems like it's kind of like an anti-smart card. And if you're playing this card and your opponent plays a piggy... I'm not really sure. Oh, chat is saying there's Hobgoblin synergy. Okay, that's true. Every time a 1 attack creature comes into play, there is Hobgoblin synergy. Making this a 3/11 is pretty insane. But yeah, we'll see. I still don't see this being in Hobgoblin decks because Hobgoblin decks are usually pretty aggressive, and the text on this card does not give an aggressive kind of feel. So, no. And finally, we haven't talked about the North Sea Kraken yet. I think I may have talked about this already, but maybe not. But this card is gonna not be playable in Arena, in Constructed, because it doesn't do anything, right? 9 mana 9/7 deal 4 is pretty terrible. If you play a 9 mana creature, it needs to be doing something ASAP. And deal 4 damage means that it can only kill 4 health creatures. And at that point in the game, I don't really see this being a thing. So, Arena card. Arena is fine. It's actually not bad. There's a lot of 4 health creatures that you can want to kill. Dark Art Dwarf, Ogre Magi. There's a lot. 4 health creatures you want to ping off. So this is fine. I would pick this in Arena. So I think that is it for the part 2. We will see what the next set holds. Yeah.